In part 1 of the video, Jett shared his experience working in Germany and navigating his new life without speaking fluent German and discovering more about himself here. Please see part 1 link below if you haven't watched it already. The audio is a lot better this time, so please stick a little longer and thank you for tuning in.
When I moved here, I only thought to myself like, okay, let's try it. If nothing works out, I just go back.
Do you still manage to save more money given the fact that the taxes are a lot higher here and the living cost is higher?
I like that I have more time for myself to do something that I didn't even know that I like to do. The relaxation without spending too much with being in the nature is something that I learned to appreciate.
Let's talk about money. Everybody likes to talk about how high the tax is in Germany. Do you want to talk about your personal take and how does it compare to Thailand?
Yes, the tax is really high, I would say. But at the end, it boils down to can you get by with that money at the end, after tax and so on. Before you get a job, you can already kind of calculate. And it's also really depending on the city. So where I live in Munich, it's
one of the most expensive cities in Germany.
And the room is really expensive and also quite difficult to find. That's also another topic. So I feel like it's enough to get by. It's good, I would say. It's also really depending on how much you spend each month. But I don't know. It's not that you're gonna get rich, like really rich, just by working alone, I would say. But still, it's a lot more than what I used to earn back in Thailand, of course.
Okay.
I think everything is just comes out that everything is just balanced. Your income and your expenses, and even for the travel. So I used to have to work as a main job and also did the freelance to get enough money to travel because from
travel as in vacation.
Vacation, yeah,
okay.
To Europe, from Thailand. So it's definitely Europe is more expensive than in Thailand. So it'll take longer time until you actually it takes a lot of effort to be able to travel, to have enough money to plane and also the all the expenses for the holiday. But here I would say okay, you live already in Europe, so it's not that expensive to travel around with the train and so on. Of course it's still a cost, but it's still it's doable. It's more relatively affordable and also manageable. Yeah.
Do you still manage to save more money given the fact that the taxes are a lot higher here and the living cost is higher?
I think, as I mentioned, it's really objective. So for me, I have also savings. In the past 2 years, I have some saving. It's maybe more than what I ever have saved when I was in Thailand. But of course, it's different in the currency and how much you earn. I didn't have to try to really save the money. I can still maybe go to Italy or maybe go to Prague and so on. So I can do some small trip. But I still also can have a saving throughout the year. I can also have some saving. So I would say really dependent on the job and the city. I would say so. But my personal opinion, money was not something you too much concerned about it. You feel like everything is kind of balanced. So you don't feel like you have to work more or you try to find a freelance or a small job to work to earn more. So that's something I used to do when I was in Thailand, but now I don't have to do that, which is great because then you can focus on one job and also maybe do whatever leisure you like.
Learning German.
Or learning German. But that's I think that's when it comes to the previous point that you just mentioned is you feel comfortable. You feel like you are now in the comfort zone. Because maybe this might be one of the reasons because you don't feel risks of not having enough. It doesn't mean that you are that rich, but what do you think about it on this topic?
Tax is very high here. That is very true. It's also health benefits, social security, and everything is taken at the same time when we get our paycheck.
Yeah.
So it's more than 40% more.
So
the more you earn, the more tax you pay, of course.
Yeah. Sometimes when you here when they talk about the income, they just talk about before tax. And if you have 500 more on top of whatever you earn before tax, and at the end after the tax is still maybe 100 or 200 more, so it's not that much more.
Yes, but to be honest, there's also nothing to complain too much about living in Germany because life is it's really good here.
Yeah.
So much better than my life in New York because you get to be present and focus more on your life, life itself and what you want to do and discover your own passion and hobbies and just be out in the nature and do nothing.
I think life quality overall.
Instead of being so anxious about, I need to prove myself, I need to earn more, have more earnings so you don't fall behind in life.
Yeah.
Because it's not a competitive society here.
Yeah.
So no one is competing. Everyone is just you see people who are 30 and they're just finishing their masters.
Yeah, it's true.
That's
what I meant the first year that I was feel pressure I start from zero, but after a period of time I start to realize that nobody really cares about that and I also talk to friends or maybe colleagues and so on. So just to get different views, and especially with German, they don't really care about it. I was like pressured myself, and actually that's
I feel like life quality plays a more important role in my mental health at the moment. And for now, and because of that, I feel content.
It's the life quality overall.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, one could argue like, or someone who actually live here or been in Europe for a long time already, they might not agree with me, but coming from, somewhere outside, somewhere really not like well developed, I feel like it's a privilege to be here, and also like a life quality is really good. You have, especially in Munich, you have green area around.
So pretty.
It's really easy to just like walk out from your home and maybe 10 to 15 minutes to a park or some place that you can just relax. You can relax outside, not only in the shopping mall. Because here I was struggling at the beginning because like malls close so early. That's the downside. Like here in Bayern, it's closed at 8 p.m. And also most of the time when I was in Thailand, when you go out, you go to the mall because you have AC and so on. But here I just learned that people just enjoy the nature. They just go out for a walk, go to the park, picnic or play, whatever. It's so different. And now I love it. Yeah, but that's not about the money. But you can enjoy your life without paying too much money. It's free.
I learned that here, satisfaction and happiness come from within, and they come from being present.
I think also like because of the work culture, you can really separate your mind from work and from your life.
Exactly.
And when you go out, enjoy outside, you don't complain about your work. You just enjoy your life, talking about activities, your next trip and so on. That's more like a conversation. Like in the group of people when you like hang out, there's mostly they talk about like holidays, they talk about their leisure and so on. And it's really nice to be around those people to hear about that story and so on.
Yeah. You learn about those stories too.
Yeah, that's actually, that's good. I just realized that because initially, I used to complain about work and so on outside the job, which is like not good. I don't do that anymore here. I feel like you have another topics to talk when you meet friends and so on. Yeah.
I don't know if you know this because when I speak to my friends from either Taiwan or the US, all they talk about is work. To the point that whether it's positive or negative, like it almost becomes their identity. Like when I meet someone new that I don't know, the first few sentences would be like, "Hey, so what do you do?"
Yeah.
Nobody asks that questions here. Like in the first few sentences, like I have friends that I've known for a year in Frankfurt. I still don't know what they do. They don't know what I do either. But we hang out. We don't care.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff to talk about in life.
Yeah.
Why talk about work? Do you ever come to a point in your time in Germany that you regret moving here?
No.
Wow, that was a fast no.
I mean, no. No. I mean, for me, I always wanted to live abroad, to try to know how it's like out there. It's always something that I wanted to do. I was just curious. Okay, there's a pro and cons, of course, but overall, I feel like I like that I have more time for myself to do something that I didn't even know that I like to do, like the long walk or maybe just doing nothing in the nature, something like that. Coming from Bangkok, there's not that much nature. Here I can really like take a train 1 hour or maybe half an hour and then be by the lake and just enjoy it. So I think it was for me a good decision to come here, and I hope to stay longer here. When I moved here, I only thought to myself like, okay, let's try it, and if nothing works out, I just go back. So it's nothing to really lose. Like in my opinion, it was like it's not so much. If you think just that okay, you're gonna move there forever, then you're not gonna do it because you're scared of things. If you think just like, oh, let's just go there for a year and try it out, it doesn't work, come back. There's
nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You only gain something, even if it's negative experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You grow up from that, and I still to this day, I met so many amazing people. I met you here, and I met a lot of good communities, friends, like designers and someone in the field. They are so enthusiastic about their some of like maybe their work, like the thing that they actually work because they wanted to work in that area, or hobbies. I learned how to have hobbies here in Germany. you kind of have to have hobbies in a way.
Exactly. Or else you're gonna be so bored and depressed.
Yeah.
Because on Sunday nothing is open.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to do something, like or maybe just stay home, but you can't stay home all day all the time.
Especially in the winter, you need to have hobbies.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can talk about like what did you discover when you moved here? The new thing that you developed since you moved to Germany. So for me, it would be like finding out hobbies and maybe nature, living with nature. That's something that I just realized that I really enjoy being in the nature. I love river. Really enjoy being next to the river, or maybe like just dip your toe in the river and so on.
It's the little things in life that we appreciate.
Yeah.
Learn to appreciate in the slower pace.
And it's not really about the money that you can spend on something.
Yes.
It's more like how can you enjoy your time.
Yeah, you can just grab a beer and sit at the park
Yeah, and
Yeah.
watch like geese swimming around or
and pooping.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think in a way it can be like slow life in a way.
Slow life.
You
Welcome to the slow life.
yeah, it's kind of okay. Sometimes like I never have like I remember that I'm not used to like having Sunday free and do nothing. And don't feel bad about it. But now I'm just like having, Sunday free and go out to like maybe park in the afternoon and stay there for 5 hours and so on. Just chill and maybe drink some beer and so on. And maybe play some card game with friends and so on. It's also, you don't feel bad about, you enjoy the time. You don't feel pressure to do something productive because you already done it and you just feel like this is the time for you to relax. The relaxation without spending too much with being in the nature is something that I learned to appreciate inside of here.
Yeah. There's no nature in Bangkok, right?
There's some, but
Some parks.
some parts, it's the same park. So I mean, you have to go outside of it. I mean, Thailand, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of beautiful places, but I'm just talking about if you live in a city and how would you enjoy the city? It's like mostly you go to the shopping mall.
Yeah.
You can ask anyone who lives in Bangkok, they will
Or
probably
clubbing.
do. Yeah, at night, Khaosan. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
What about you? What did you discover since you moved here?
Being in Germany, which is a lot safer than where I came from, completely changed my mental health for the better. Munich is relatively safe, and Frankfurt, okay, it's not as safe. People think it's sketchy, but if you come from the US, it is so safe. I'm telling you. I've witnessed so much worse in the US that I feel like my life was in constant danger when I was living in Brooklyn, and also when I traveled in Seattle, Chicago, and LA. It was not just like, people are going to steal your wallets or stuff like that. It's life danger.
Yeah.
Like with the shooting and stuff, and like here I don't have to worry about that, and just that difference, knowing that I don't need to be constantly aware of the fact that my life would be in danger, like it has a positive impact on my mental health.
Yeah.
And I actually noticed this immediately when I moved to Munich. And it was something that I never knew because I was so conditioned to like always be careful as a girl or as someone who's not white.
What do you think about like moving here? What would you have done differently?
I don't regret it here because the gains that I've had from moving to Germany for my first 2 years, actually it's below 2 years for me. It outweighs all the cons and the shit I've gone through just by existing in Germany and like the obstacles that I've had to deal with. I mentioned in my previous video also a little bit. I like the stimulation that I get in Germany. First, being not so literate still. I like that I still have a lot to figure out and like it keeps me curious, I would say. And the diversity that I get in Germany, I like listening and hearing multiple languages on a daily basis, and I like that. Also like the proximity that I can travel a lot. Benefits that I get living in Germany is so much better than what I've had before. Ever.
I think maybe with the language, I feel like every day is kind of like a challenge because I mean if I were to live in the place where they use English mainly, I don't think I would feel so much fun in terms of trying to learn new things all the time because once you get out you have a chance to learn new things like the language to get by and maybe order food or new new dish or something to try. And the language barrier in a way keep you wants to improve yourself all the time.
Yes.
Because you want to also at the end, if you want to stay here, you should also get to know the language and also the culture.
Yeah, it probably has a positive and negative impact.
Yeah.
Like, in a way, it can make you feel secluded because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and also making friends in Germany is another topic.
Making friends with Germans, you mean?
In Germany with Germans,
It is a struggle for you?
I don't think so, but when I think about how many German friends I have, not that many. It's like, okay, maybe 50-50 between international or European and also like German.
That's a lot, 50%.
I'm not sure. I mean,
maybe you see them as friends, but they don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they have their own German friends.
Exactly. Don't put it in that.
No. I think it's realistic.
I mean,
it's a realistic
that's
part.
true, but I can't really say that it's difficult. It's definitely difficult. More difficult because okay, they have already their own circle of friends, and to get to meet up, they are not like the most spontaneous people on earth where you can just call this morning and meet in the afternoon.
3 weeks
you kind of have to do that, but once you get the hang of it, and I now also have everything on my calendar when to meet.
He's become Germanized.
Yeah, but then it makes things easier to meet with someone, and I don't feel pressure.
Schedule ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of like schedule ahead. Like I do like at least a week ahead. But of course, I have some friends who
A week is very short notice.
very short.
German
That's already too
standard.
short. But I also have like a friend who I can just text and ask like spontaneously, but that you need quite some time to actually get to know and maybe like get along well, and you can kind of like do that. It can be really depressing in winter if you don't have friends here, and it's something that maybe you should be aware of if someone wants to move here, and you need to put a lot of effort. You need to get yourself out there and maybe join a group or a workshop or something to maybe get to learn new people. Try to put yourself into maybe the community, or maybe like for example in Munich there's like every week there's some activities, museum or display, exhibition and so on. So people also go there.
Many meetups.
Exactly.
And if you're not good in big groups, dating apps.
Yeah, it's true.
Dating apps.
That's
yeah.
also.
Pick the Germans if you want to make German friends.
But yeah, or just go hiking. Just like any good.
But don't go hiking with
Okay.
someone you haven't met yet.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be such a long hike.
It's gonna be such a long hike, and it might not be so safe. So don't
Yeah, maybe not.
don't recommend that to people.
Just enjoy the park.
Subscribe for more.
What a cliffhanger.
If you want to learn about experience about dating in Germany. What we just talked about is just completely our personal experience. It's heavily based on where we came from. I hope this is somewhat helpful for anyone who's watching.
Yes, true. It's might not be true for everyone, but
it's true for us.
For us, yes, and at least you can get a glimpse. And I mean, you can already see that we are not always agree on the same thing, but like because of the experience we have. And she lives now in Frankfurt. I live in Munich, so it's completely
also different. It's also a very different culture in Germany. Yeah.
So I think it's kind of fun. Like
yes, he had culture shock when he went to Frankfurt to visit me because
true.
how late the stores open.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.
Okay, subscribe.
Subscribe. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Cheers.
Tschüss.
Bis später.
Auf Wiedersehen.